Transparency International Papua New Guinea says there's still much to do in the wake of the sentencing of disgraced lawyer Paul Paraka on misappropriation charges. Paraka, who had operated his own eponymous law firm, one of the largest in PNG, was convicted of swindling 162 million kina, that's about $46 million in government funds between 2007 and 2011. PNG's Peter Ayitsi told Don Wiseman it's a significant outcome, but not the end of the matter.
Correct, Don. There's much work still to be done. Well, the sentencing is an outcome of that lengthy court process, which has now at least delivered some significant sort of outcome with respect to the public's interest in the matter. But as PNG has made statements, it now requires the agencies of state to essentially follow through on many of the recommendations and findings that came out of that originating commission of inquiry. So really, it's for those agencies to ask those questions. Okay, where is the money now? Where are those payments that went through this complex structure that was created through Paul Paraka's law firm? And who were the individuals that perhaps were beneficiaries of that money through that network? And then ask them, perhaps ask those questions to those individuals in terms of what the nature of those payments were. So there's much work still to be done.
And is there any sign that it's being done?
Look, there's statements made today about further arrest of a former Secretary for Finance. And so that suggests that there's further work still, there's further action still underway. But from a public interest point of view, we at PNG will continue to raise those questions and continue to challenge both our political leaders and also the agencies responsible for implementing these findings or investigating these findings until we see some response and some action.
On the government side, someone was making decisions there, then surely some heads you would expect within the public service could be expected to roll.
You would hope to think so. In a properly functioning government or properly functioning structure, that would be the case. But unfortunately, a number of our agencies and institutions are unfortunately compromised because of some political influence. And so, as we find in our country, in Papua New Guinea, the wheels of justice turn very slowly, and in some instances, they turn the wrong way. And so we see a perverse outcome, and individuals that possibly have been alleged and possibly have sufficient evidence to prosecute them are let to go scot-free.
Now, Papua New Guinea does now have an ICAC, Independent Commission Against Corruption, and the government has announced that it's appointing more commissioners to that ICAC.
Not so sure about appointing more commissioners. PNG was involved in the recruitment panel to appoint the 3 commissioners. And so there are 3 commissioners now engaged and now on board. There's the chief commissioner and his 2 deputies, which represents the ICAC commission. So they took office, I think, on the 1st of July, and they are very much in place and now establishing or recruiting to establish the operating structure for ICAC. That's the current situation with respect to ICAC. I think PNG has put out statements recently just calling on the government to honour its commitment to ICAC and do so by ensuring the ICAC has sufficient operating budget allocated to it in the 2024 national budget. And so that's, for us, as the area that we'll be watching, is to ensure that they are properly funded so that they can implement fully their responsibilities.
And how confident are you that will happen?
After our statement, the Prime Minister came out publicly at a press conference and indicated that his government would fully fund the work of ICAC. So we'll watch that space very closely.